everyone. This is GT Time, and I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman. And joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
I can hear the music now, and I'm going to dance to it.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey.
And in the super seat this week, Mike Huber.
Hello.
And making this all possible, Ian Hank.
Still says Michael Huber. There we go.
That's because you go too fast. That's how long they are.
Ian, you all right? You sound a little sick today.
I'm great.
Okay.
You're just sick of waiting.
Yeah.
We're starting a little off schedule today to explain Bloodworth's rude remark straight off the top of the show. Michael Huber, person in the super seat, we have a question for you.
I didn't look at the question. Okay, here we go.
So you don't even know what's coming?
Yeah, I don't even know what's coming.
What is your favorite E3 memory?
Shenmue.
That's easy.
What is that? What does that mean?
When Yu Suzuki stepped onto the Sony stage to announce the Kickstarter for Shenmue 3.
What is that about, like a Chinese cow or something?
It is.
Like as a
It is
fighter
a
or something?
series
Shenmue?
about revenge, betrayal, mystery, redemption,
And lucky hit.
and life.
But
and lucky hit.
there's been so many announcements at E3. Why is that one your favorite moment?
Because of the emotional impact it had. I've been waiting 14 years for a continuation to this series. It felt improbable and impossible. It defied all logic and all the odds. I mean, the games haven't done that well financially. They have been on multiple systems, multiple party lines, Sega, PC, Sony now, Microsoft, everyone. And they made it happen.
PC.
PC. Shenmue 3. PC confirmed.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Were you were not happy about that, Blood? What was that?
Oh, no. I just thought he was. I thought he was talking about the prior games. So I
Oh,
was
okay.
confused, yeah.
No Shenmue game has ever been on PC before. Legally, anyway.
Yeah. And that's it.
That was your favorite memory.
Favorite memory of all time regarding video games.
Are you concerned that you've kind of like Neil Armstrong now? Like you've been to the greatest E3 ever, and so it's just every year now.
Yeah,
it's just like not gonna be the same.
I mean, there was one. There have been some really crazy E3s, and while they can't always be the best, they can always be great. So,
Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Yeah. Neil Armstrong has a great life after getting on the moon.
Yeah.
He's done some cool stuff. He's punched reporters. He's fine.
Totally. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
None as cool as going to the moon.
I hope Yu Suzuki doesn't punch any reporters.
It's
Okay.
happening, dude. It's going to come to that. So let's start corrections music. Let's get to our corrections. The audio was desynced again last week from the video. I don't know what keeps happening. All I can do is apologize and blame Ian. Several people were mad that I praised WB and Rocksteady when, for like giving the refunds, because when Assassin's Creed Unity was glitchy, they gave out a free game, which was Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. And to you, I'm not gonna willing to accept that as a correction. Yeah, you would rather have that free stinky game than your money back?
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, me too.
You're getting your money back. That's better than any dumb little free game. Okay. We talked about my friend Isaac. He felt misrepresented in last week's episode. He got Batman Arkham Knight for free with the purchase of his new graphics card. His official statement: "I would be pissed if I had paid $60." So we set it straight. For the launch of the PS4, Drive Club was actually replaced by Contrast, not by Resogun. You remember Contrast?
Contrast,
Yeah.
fun game.
Yeah, sort of, right? And also, okay, that's it, actually. End the corrections music. But we do have a bet. We have a bet that has to be settled. Bloodworth, some time ago, bet that Square Enix would definitely show off their own form of amiibo at E3. That did not come to pass. And so, as were the terms of this bet, Bloodworth's face has been photoshopped onto Sephiroth's body as he stabs Ares.
With the headphones on.
With the headphones on, still a professional. Blood,
Was I at that GT time?
you were at
Yeah.
the GT time, yeah.
That was a Judges Week or something?
No, it was way before that.
I don't remember that. I certainly don't remember that.
Oh yeah, actually, so I do want to thank @HavocMaker for finding that instance. Please call us out when we lose bets, because we do forget them. We throw them out there all the time, and we forget when they happen. So thank you so much for calling that out and figuring that out. And Bloodworth, this is despicable.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry for stabbing Eris? That's all you have to say?
Yeah, I didn't really like the game after that happened.
Oh my god. Wait, is that true?
Pretty much, like my impressions of Final Fantasy VII went down after the first disc continually.
Wow.
I always hear Bloodworth saying not mean things about Final Fantasy VII, but he's kind of neutral about it.
I
That's the
didn't
vibe
even
get.
make it that far.
Really?
Whoa.
That's ridiculous.
I really do love that first, like the opening and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's like really, really
What
cool.
is
know.
happening?
It has this like certain feel, like it has that impact on you.
What about when you go to Red 13's village?
That place is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wait, but you both like 6 the most, right?
I think
For
6.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Si-
See,
six.
there's-
6 is up there. 4 is up there.
camps.
9 is up there.
It's just a divide.
You know, one of the games has characters you care about, the other one doesn't. You know, it's just kind of like a, it's
Okay,
you
that's
know,
not-
it's a yin and yang situation. You know, it's
No,
like
no, no. It's a whole
immersion
different
versus
podcast.
not. You know, it's just kind of
I wanted to start with good news this week. We have some good news. Microsoft announced its Gamescom press conference. It is, let me get the date down. It's Tuesday, August 4th at 7 a.m. Pacific time, whatever that is for you and any other part of the world. What's cool about this press conference, this press event, is that Scalebound, Quantum Break, and Crackdown are promised. They're going to be there. They're going to be in this press conference.
We knew that, right? We assumed that. They said it was not going to be at E3 because it's going to be at Gamescom.
Yeah. Yeah. And like now it's confirmed. Like that is going, all 3 of those things will be in this press conference. Probably more Halo, probably more HoloLens. Are we pumped for this?
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft has been kind of slowly experimenting with press conferences the past few Gamescoms, and now they kind of have the stage to themselves because it sounds like Sony is, backing down from that show to go a little bit later at the Paris Games Week, which I honestly wasn't aware of. It hasn't had that kind of global impact that Gamescom has been having.
And TGS. Sony's planted something big.
No, TGS is
happening.
slowly dying.
We're moving forward
Hey,
too
last
fast.
TGS was good.
I'm mad that we're talking about Sony already when Microsoft made a huge announcement.
I'm very excited to see Scalebound, actually. I think that, like, Platinum has been doing a lot of cool stuff, and yeah, giant dragons and all that. Like, I don't know what that game is going to look like, but I bet it'll be freaking sweet.
So, I don't want to sound negative
Okay.
at all because Quantum Break, holy crap. But I really don't need to see any more Quantum Break to be sold on it. I've already kind of made up my mind. I'm very hyped and pumped about it. I want to play it. Crackdown 2. I know.
Oh,
We're on 3.
right.
2 was one of the worst games I have ever played. My hype for that.
Whoa.
I cannot stand. I co-opted that game with Brad Ellis the entire way through. One of the worst gaming memories we've had this side of Kane and Lynch.
Can you explain that? What was bad about it?
Just
What made it?
devoid of life and soul. Just so boring. Just a boring game. Love Crackdown 1. Super fun game. Especially early 360 game. Love it. 2, to me, just a disaster. Kind of sucked the wind out of any anticipation for a new Crackdown game.
I think, and they may have even talked about this. For me, like when I checked out of Crackdown 2 immediately, it was when they said, "Oh, this one will have zombies." And it's like, you idiots, you idiots.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not.
And
a
so
big
I think
fan.
Crackdown 3 will not have zombies. I think they're just not even going to do that. What's funny is we still don't know the developers of Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
We know
Really?
that. Yeah, we know that CloudGen's working on like the engine of it, but we don't know who the game developers are working on that game. That's crazy.
Now, Scalebound, on the other hand,
Yes.
Platinum Games for the win.
Heck yeah.
Incredible. But are their games enough to sell systems and to give Microsoft the push that they need?
I mean, I think it's just a matter of, like how appealing the premise is. And I think having, a bunch of huge giant dragons is going to be a great premise. It's just, that's kind of a win right there. And you see, with Bayonetta 2, that, when they're like fully behind one of their projects, they make amazing games. So yeah, I'm just very curious as to like what the actual gameplay is going to look like, where they're going to push the boundaries. We know that they can create spectacle like nobody else. It's like they just have their own style. So it'll just be interesting to see how it all fits into that setting, how all of this stuff interacts, and exactly what what it's going to play out, how it's going to play out.
Right, Bayonetta 2 is on Wii U. Like, think of what they can pull off on Xbox One. It's just mind-blowing. With a budget, with the Microsoft budget.
Gameplay, I think, is one of the most exciting things about these three. It's like I'm fairly certain we're going to see gameplay of all three of these games. So.
I really want to see the TV stuff for Quantum Break. They have yet to show any of that. I think they showed like a teaser very early on with the woman talking to her daughter and like a bridge opening.
It was stupid.
I want to see how that connects.
I thought it was like canceled or not on TV,
So
just in the game or something like that.
The studio shut down or got canceled or whatever, but that Quantum Break, they said, is continuing with that.
But it's part of the game. It's not a separate show.
It's just FMVs in the game. It's not a TV show.
Right. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It's still not clear. And I think it's evolved a lot since they began the project and announced it 2 years ago, to be honest. I think that's probably changed a lot. Mm-hmm. Hubert, no, don't show any of that. Don't show it.
I want to see it.
No. Like, I feel like they shouldn't show it because it's confusing people, because it's making people mad. And
set the record straight.
I guess
Let's
so.
go.
What could they show you about these videos, though, that could make you excited about Quantum Break?
You've seen how good TV has been in the last couple years. Show some awesome 5 or 6 minute, stealth action scene. I don't know, something crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if they have that budget.
Yeah.
They need Bryan Cranston.
I do think it's going to be weird going back and forth because I think it's going to be an episodic style of storytelling, because like Alan Wake did that too. Like last time on Alan Wake.
Yeah.
But it's going to be strange because you are up close and personal with these characters in game. So then you're going to see real people, and then you're going to cut to the in-game model, and as good as those in-game models are going to look, it's going to be jarring.
The only thing I remember
side by side.
The only thing I remember them saying is that the TV stuff would focus on the villain, which I thought was a very cool premise because you're playing the game as a hero, and then when you watch the TV, you're seeing the villain side of it all.
I'm cool with that.
So
I'm actually cool with that. I hate when I can play as the villain.
Yeah. You don't like playing as a villain?
No, because then I could, my responsibility as a player is to run that person off the side of a building and win the game.
What game? What game are you referring to right now?
In particular, I was thinking of like Call of Duty.
Okay.
There was one where you play as the guy with the machete.
Yeah,
and you're just like, if I just let this guy die, I'm good. I'm fine, and I would win the game. It actually happens a lot in Call of Duty.
But he's
games.
in like beast mode or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He can't really die.
You can die. You can still die.
But not nearly as easily.
Yeah. And I think in Advanced Warfare there was lots of cheap things of like switching perspectives to people who would just end the game if you let them die. Mm-hmm. I think it's cheap. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Brandon, do you like it? Do you like
Well,
playing
you think
the
of
villain?
something like Grand Theft Auto 5 where you switch characters and you do kind of change your persona. That it's just like, okay, what I'm doing right now has changed because I've deliberately switched a character.
Yeah.
That's like you play a fighting game. You don't necessarily like have the same persona every time or like stick to one character. It's just if it's like a real quick thing. If it's like you're playing like 99% of the game as one character and then you just do a quick little swap, then yeah, that would be weird. But sometimes it works.
I think it was in Advanced Warfare where you skip perspectives. You're that guy that whole time.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the one. It was, oh God, they all make me mad. They all
In
make me
Advanced
so
Warfare,
mad.
you can kill Kevin Spacey early on.
Really?
You can shoot him in the head in the game, like
Time paradox.
Yeah.
I think there's room in this industry for Crackdown. I think
Nice.
I think there's room for a stupid, crazy, drive a truck off of a collapsing skyscraper to then crash it into another building and then shoot its gas tank and blow it up like they do in the weird CG trailer. Like, there's just nothing I take seriously about that game. And like a lot of first-person games kind of ride that line where like some are, obviously more serious and some, even like the Grand Theft Auto is kind of like right in the middle of that where like there is a serious story if you want to get into it. There are dramatic moments, but like at the same time, it's all parody. But Crackdown's just like none of this. Don't worry about it. Down to just like the sound of that voice. Like I don't remember what he calls you. Like what your name. Where you're like a guardian or something. When he's just like, hey, what's up? Like the guy's just like, announcer dude. Like the whole game. Yeah. I would never say the Crackdown 2 was good, but like my expectations were super. Low going into that game. I wasn't expecting a lot.
It doesn't need to be serious. It just needs to be fun.
But
Super fun. Yeah.
I think
like, take advantage of the Xbox One.
Like
and
Just Cause.
It's not
make it a big
It's not
crazy
first
game.
person though, right? We need a real time correction on that.
Oh, that's a third-person game. You're hopping around.
Did I say first person?
You said first person, so
Don't know where that came from. Sorry.
Gotta stop that.
Ouch. I think though what they're going to try to show with Crackdown is how huge the world is. They're trying to show off the power of the cloud with this game in particular. And so that's exciting. I think we might just see some huge destruction.
Power of the cloud. I haven't heard them talk about that for a while.
I think it's definitely been like a red word on their PR sheets. Like, don't talk about this anymore. Because you're right. They used to say literally the power of the cloud many, many times until it's become a joke today. But I think that's the idea. I think this is going to be an online-only game that uses the cloud to generate buildings that aren't just hollow polygons.
Online only, Kyle. How mad are you?
I'm not mad if that's the game. You know what I mean? There are online-only games, and you just know that coming in. An online-only console kind of sucks. But if that's what the game is, and that's what the game is.
Cool.
You know, that's a contract you sign when you buy it.
So if Crackdown and Scalebound come out, have a ridiculous show.
Yeah.
You guys are hyped on them, top of your list. You're like, wow, Crackdown and Scalebound.
Yeah.
Would you buy an Xbox One?
Maybe for Scalebound, not likely for Crackdown.
What about you, Blood?
I have an Xbox One.
Well, there you go.
Okay. And Brandon Jones has one too.
And you have
Yeah. He's all set. We're all set there. What about you, Huber?
I'm buying mine for Quantum Break. The day Quantum Break comes out.
And not a day before then.
Well, Scalebound maybe.
Yes, if Scalebound looks crazy.
Scalebound could easly be crazy.
Bayonetta 2, maybe buy a Wii U.
See, like, I think this press conference is going to be better than their E3. You know what I mean? Like we had Tomb Raider and Halo and Gears of War at E3. Like, these E3 games could easily be more impressive.
I think that Tomb Raider and Halo will be in this conference too, though.
Sure, they could show a tomb from Tomb Raider.
I think somewhere combining the two press conferences, the one we've already seen, the one we're going to get, will create a press conference that possibly could have rivaled Sony's, but I think they kind of split them. I think we're going to get something about the same level of excitement, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
But it's going to be cool. It's cool that Sony's not doing anything at Gamescom.
Yeah. So, all right, fine. We can finally talk about Sony. It's
Yeah. Well, they'll be
Microsoft's
there,
brother.
but they're not doing a conference.
Right.
Not breaking news.
And well, yeah, right. They're saving news for probably TGS and definitely Paris Games Week.
TGS, Bloodworth. It's happening. Get ready.
I think they would have talked about TGS if they were going to do something major.
Dragon Quest 11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Here
Persona 5.
Dragon Quest 11 PS4. It's coming. It's happening.
I mean, the thing is like they'll probably have small press conferences, but it's like how much of a thing are they going to do about it at TGS? Those TGS conferences have been weird over the years.
There was a really good one last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge.
Bloodworth obviously didn't watch.
Not into it.
No.
You have to remind me about what, but yeah, probably.
Shoot. I remember I can't honestly remember the one huge thing that came out of it. I think it was Kingdom Hearts. Was that at TGS last year?
No, wasn't that was Jump Festival later, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Was it
was.
Persona 5?
No, because that happens after that. Okay, we'll need a correction on that. What was?
Yeah, Persona 5 just dropped
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
I think it was Final Fantasy 15. I think there was some huge stuff from Final Fantasy 15 at TGS last year, and we were going nuts for it.
And Phantom Pain.
And Phantom Pain, but I think it was old Phantom Pain stuff because it comes after Gamescom. Loose memories, man.
Loose.
It is
Too much
so,
stuff.
Honestly, okay. So back on the topic, like I get why Sony said Gamescom happens too soon after E3, because like these things do bleed together. Do you think that's a problem, or do you think, like Brandon said, that they'll just bleed together into one epic press conference in our minds?
I don't.
Who did the right move?
I think that's just. Yeah, I think that's just them covering why they decided to do this. Sony's been doing Gamescom press conferences for years and years, long before Microsoft did one. And, they've revealed new models of like the PS3 there. They did all this stuff. They revealed Resistance 3 that one year. And they've always had a presence, in terms of a press conference.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe the rise of Paris Games Week is giving them another option to spread themselves out more. I don't know. I honestly, before that came up, I thought that they were holding off because they have PSX.
Right. But Paris Games Week is in September.
October
even closer to PSX. That's crazy.
I think it's smart. I think spreading out over the course of a year, having that constant momentum. Clearly, everyone's going to be talking about Microsoft during Gamescom because they have a press conference. They're going to be showing all these huge games. That's time that will not be spent talking about Sony or Nintendo. Focus on Microsoft.
Somebody did bring up that I think like that's happening around the same time as when Halo 5 actually launches.
In October.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So people will be talking about the Sony press conference while they're playing Halo 5.
Dude, it's Twitter warfare. I swear it. It's so nasty. They want to be trending so bad this new era. It's so strange.
Well, that's the thing. And if you have nobody to battle against, it's kind of like racing. It's like Sony's taking a pit stop at Gamescom.
Yeah.
And Xbox is going to take the lead, but then they're going to have to stop eventually.
Yeah.
They're going to run out of stuff to announce.
Great analogy.
And
Yeah.
what's interesting is not to keep piecemealing footage for all of the titles, but to just completely be like, nope, we're going to give you guys time. It seems like publishers are getting really selective with their time. Like that's where so many delays are happening now. Like they're really they're trying to be smart about it. Just to specifically say, like, there's a time and a place to do this. And it's like we're talking about Fallout before E3. It was just like, why are they announcing it now? It's like because nothing else happened today, and they own today. They trended today. Whereas if this had happened Monday, it would have been one of like a ton of trends.
They were in the lead of the Twitter race.
Right.
Yeah.
It really would have come down to your personal preference. Like you look at all those E3 headlines, and it's like, well, I'm just going to focus on MOBAs because I like those. Where it's like, I just like video games, and no one's talking about anything today but Fallout. So I don't like Fallout, but hell, everyone's talking about it. I'll check it out and see what it is.
We still have heard nothing either way about EA, whether they're doing another conference this year.
Well, I don't think we have. Yeah.
Yeah, because they usually do a Gamescom press conference as well.
But Pele was already at E3. What do you got?
I know, they
what do
blew
you
it
got
out.
for
What do you-
Gamescom.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, FIFA actually is usually a big part of that conference.
Yeah. Forget about it.
Be interesting because they've been slim the past couple of years at E3. So do they have a lot of new stuff that they would share at Gamescom?
This is going to be hard for listeners to appreciate, but if you can watch this video, you have to see how Brandon Jones puts his mug down. That it is so precise. It is like a machine.
It's like landing on the surface of a planet.
It is, yes, yeah.
You go down fast, but then you slow, like right at the end.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. That's it, like to describe it. It is like a little moon landing. It's so delicate the way
Right.
he does it. He comes in with force and then somehow regulates his
Fire
speed.
the thrusters.
Fire the thrusters. Brandon, that's pro, dude.
Thank you.
That's professional
As
stuff.
long as we're talking about visual aids,
Yeah.
you really have to appreciate the blood in the corner there, taking Eris out. I forgot that they were going to be in all the slides.
Okay, again for listeners, yes, the Photoshop of blood is back, but that's the last time I did it. I don't have.
Oh, that's
I don't have
He
time
doesn't
to.
pop up more.
Yeah, I don't have time to do that.
I don't
Man,
know,
I
like
want
a-
to see.
Can I have that on a shirt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scalebound's gonna be huge, dude.
Capcom had a press conference one year, but that's
Oh, at Gamescom.
yeah, they had Remember Me in there.
Honestly, I think Microsoft's gonna own Gamescom. Announcement wise.
I think one thing that you can't do, because the day and age we live in now, is you can't be like, oh yeah, Scalebound can be at Gamescom without bringing Scalebound. Now they have to show something. you
Yeah.
know? And so that's what that's what was exciting about Bethesda, because they were kicking off E3 and they said like, Doom, Fallout, get ready. We were
Yeah,
like, and we
you're
were ready.
right.
And then we showed
100%
up
you're right.
and it was there. So. It's because so many people delivered at this E3. It's like that's the standard now. Like you can't either don't tell me what you're gonna do at all and then surprise me with like a couple trailers. But if you're gonna call a game out like that, if Scalebound's not playable, that's gonna be a big disappointment. Or not, yeah, I mean if we don't see gameplay, if we don't see that game and engine,
It's gonna happen. Don't even worry about it.
it's a TV show, Scalebound TV show.
We should move on. Scrolls is gone. Scrolls is dead. Mojang Scrolls. Of
Never
course, we're
played
talking
it.
about.
Never got a chance.
Never
to,
got a chance.
Well,
to play it. I love card games.
So here's what happened: is you get another year, and they announced
Okay.
their most recent expansion happened this week, and they announced that there will be another year of the game, but that's probably it. There will be no more expansions ever. Scrolls is simply unsustainable. From Mojang, this company that was just sold to Microsoft for I think over $2 billion.
Yeah.
And they said, no, we can't afford to run this game anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you put it that way. Yeah, it sounds like desperate. Like they're just like, no Scrolls, no. But at the same time, it's just like, we don't focus on that. It was like Titan. It's like, nope.
Threw
That
a
was fun.
dart. Didn't
It's a
stick.
fun little thing.
Do you think that's what this is?
I mean, are
That's-
we really going to feel sorry for the creators of Minecraft? Are we really going to be at the table and be like, oh, those poor guys?
I do feel sorry.
Yeah, it's a bummer, It's like if they only had something going for them, It's just Minecraft's totally slipped out of relevancy. No one's playing it. No one's talking about it. Yeah,
This-
it's a bummer.
This is like you have one huge thing and you're like, no, I can do other stuff. I can do other stuff. Look at this. Look
Why
at this
not
other thing
try?
I can do.
Try it.
And then it failed, and then you're like, okay, well, I guess I really am only good at this one thing.
It's
That's
like,
what I'm
it's like,
scared of,
It's
you
like,
know?
well, it's like Google or Apple. It's like they start something and they're like, yeah, that didn't work. But there's no way we're gonna know until we actually do
Yeah,
it.
it seemed like I'm curious to see the budget for the game. Seems like a low risk, high reward
Absolutely.
type,
Yeah.
You make some cards, you build the mechanics, and
That's why it's so weird to me, I guess, that they're bailing on it already. Because I
Because
think
it's not gonna make them money. It's not gonna be. It's because that's the thing. It's not like this couldn't get. This just because this got canceled doesn't mean it wasn't making money. It probably just wasn't making a lot. Like, even if that was it, even if they were just like barely breaking even or like a little bit ahead of that, it's like, why on earth are we going to put all this effort into it when there's clearly other things we're already doing that we can just take that effort, do this, and have a much bigger win?
All right, let's move forward. We have another story, a really interesting interview that Shigeru Miyamoto did with Fortune, in which, what's my headline here? Nintendo might be over the Wii U. That's basically the sentiment that I got over the course of this interview with Fortune. In that Miyamoto, for the first time, is kind of in the interview addressing the failures of the Wii U, almost talking about it past tense, saying that, the Wii U failed because of tablets. To me, it's very interesting to see Nintendo finally talk like that. Do you think Nintendo is over the Wii U panel?
Yeah, I mean, a year ago they were talking about we need to make sure everyone knows how cool the gamepad is, and we have to communicate that. And they, Star Fox is a result of that, but that's the only thing they really did. That and Mario Maker are the two cool things that they had but it wasn't even a focus. Like, they felt like they were more focused on the 3DS at E3 this year.
Way more focused.
Yeah.
And if there weren't enough announcements, I think that, there might have been equal announcements on both consoles, or both systems. But clearly the cooler stuff was on 3DS, like the stuff to get more generally excited about.
Ew, what are you talking about in particular? Nothing good on 3DS.
Yeah, that's pretty sad that they're focusing on 3DS, and even they realize that they've been doing poor. There was an interview with Reggie talking about Metroid Federation Force, and he was saying, the response has been insanely negative. We're sorry. We want to try and change old franchises to be more modern and tweak them. And he was acknowledging that the sentiment of it was.
Well, I was making fun of him for that last week because he said people just need to play it. And I said, Reggie, you're just not communicating the game well. You need to make better trailers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't say,
Wired had an article. I only got to read half of it because then I had to do other stuff. But
sure.
The guy who made Metroid Prime and whatever else, he was saying that he was interested in doing this Federation Force because he was like, nobody's ever done a story focused on these soldier guys. You always play as Samus, and I thought it'd be an interesting idea,
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah, just make a good trailer. Don't treat it like a little stupid game. You know what I mean? Oh God, I'm so mad about. Oops, sorry, I hit right click there. I'm so mad about Paper Jam. That game makes me furious.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Blood is just using old assets. It's like using assets from the Paper Mario game that was bad on 3DS, and using the Mario and Luigi game that was bad on 3DS, and combining them together and creating pretending like this is going to be a good game.
You would rather not
so
have this
mad.
game than have it.
Yeah. Absolutely, I would rather not this game not exist. To me, it is it's financially responsible game. It's hey, okay.
Shouldn't Nintendo be financially responsible
That's
right
what
now?
it is.
Isn't that the
Exactly.
conversation we're having?
Yeah. And that's what that game is. That's what the new Mario Tennis game is. That's what that stupid Link. We got 3 Links only doing dungeons game is.
Right. So I think basically what happened with Nintendo at E3 was that they're what's the lowest bar for quality that we can reach to actually qualify as bringing a Metroid game.
Yeah.
To actually qualify as having the return of Super Mario RPG.
The Metroid game is the only game that has new assets in it. You know what I mean? Maybe Star Fox as well, but it's the only game that isn't reused drag and drop stuff. The other things make me so mad.
Doesn't it make you excited for their mobile offerings?
I'm getting worked up. Blast Ball is part of it. The rest of it is a 3-player co-op game.
Because if Federation Force was something like these weird Assassin's Creed side-scrolling games, then that would be okay because there is the main Assassin's Creed series that's going strong, and then sure, I'll accept this weird offshoot thing. But when that's the only Metroid announcement you've made in 5 years, it's it's a little.
Yeah, so I think at this point we should accept that the big budget Nintendo games are in development right now for the NX, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that should we just finally acknowledge that?
The way that this specific article read
Yeah.
was that it was very much it's done. He expressed how sad he was. He was saying, it's a shame it'll never live up to its full potential.
Yeah,
we
you're
tried
right.
it.
Right.
You know what? I'll take it even further, Kyle.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully, those big franchises are in development for the NX.
Come
Yeah,
on,
there's
man.
no guarantee.
They are. They absolutely are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You don't even
trust
know what that
Nintendo-
system is.
Yeah, what if
Yeah.
it's a handheld?
It's not a handheld.
Elise Willems was bringing up a phenomenal point this morning.
Okay.
We had a big Nintendo discussion.
Water cooler ranch.
And
Here we go.
Yeah, she really thinks that the Nintendo NX is going to be heavily mobile focused. And
I believe. I think so too.
just mobile games, some kind of tie-ins with like Facebook and social media. You know, Nintendo's always trying to do something unique, and I think
I will fill my bathtub with lava and just rest inside of it if that's the case.
Well, I mean, Miiverse has been a success within the Wii U story. Like, that has actually been something that has worked out really well for them.
Sure.
I think
The gamepad hasn't worked out. Why would they say, "Oh yeah, we should do more stuff like this"?
that is actually the weird thing to me, because it does feel like an admission of like the gamepad is not, it didn't grab people, it didn't get communicated well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like the gamepad will be what's moving forward. So it does make it a little bit less clear to me as to what will be moving forward.
do you go back to a normal controller?
You absolutely do.
Because
Yeah.
the gamepad,
Unless you're Nintendo, because every good decision
Right?
they make 4 bad ones. Like the Wii was cool because it had cool motion controls and it was a nice fad, but it was not HD and it had like a bunch of other things wrong with it. Like they can't do everything right. So I wouldn't be surprised if everything's like highly tied into mobile and Facebook, because everyone will be pissed.
We've had touch controls ever since the DS. It's something they've done for a really long time. I'd be surprised if they backed away from it.
I have never had one moment with my Wii U gamepad where I've been like, wow, this is so cool. I think of the Wii motion controls. I think of fighting with Link, having some sword battle. That alone was infinitely better than the gamepad has ever done. I mean, what can you do in Mario? You blow on the gamepad? That's the
Right.
biggest thing they can do?
No, the two best Wii U games, Bayonetta 2 and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Don't even use
It's
it.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's because
But
the gamepad is just an iPad from 1986.
Right, and I mean, it's funny, Miyamoto addresses, like, he thinks tablets are the reason the Wii U didn't work out. I would disagree, but it is funny that they kind of thought that,
We
like,
found one reason was responsible for the entire
Yeah, but, like,
failure of the Wii U.
for Nintendo to see, like, the iPad take off and just like, wait, that was our idea, is so funny to me. That's like...
I mean, Nintendo, they're so backwards in so many ways. Like, what was the quote you said to me the other day, that there are no female playable characters in Triforce Heroes because the story is about heroes, so you have to play as male characters because that's the story we're telling?
Right.
And I'm just like, whoa, that's
No,
bad
they're
for
like
so
they're like
many
adventurers, Ian. They're
No, the
they're
quote
problem
says
solvers.
they
No, I
are
know that you
heroes.
can't.
You don't understand, Ian. They're heroic.
Oh,
So,
right,
like,
yeah. So it has to be.
There's a problem and an enemy that needs to be defeated,
Right.
and they have to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Do I have to spell this out for you, Ian?
You don't understand,
Yeah.
Ian. One character is Link. The other two are generic heroes, but it's really important for those other two generic heroes to be men.
Because that's the story we're
Yeah,
telling.
exactly.
They're heroes.
But the sprites already existed. I think that's the only story.
They already exactly. Oh gosh.
But
The sprites aren't that complex. Just slap a chick name on one of them and you're fine.
I do have a quote.
But it's
that I
funny, you
wanted
talk
to
about
share.
reusing assets. Like, that's how Mario Maker came out, right? As they were reusing Mario assets for a game. The guy was like, wait a minute. This is pretty fun.
And like
Oh,
how
for
they
Mario,
reused the
yeah.
assets from Star Fox 64 for the new Star Fox.
Ouch.
I
Ouch, that poor Star Fox.
I do think that Mario Maker will be one of the better uses and needs for the gamepad.
Of gamepad, yeah.
So much better than fiddling around with analog sticks.
I don't
and
know, man.
Little Big
Star
Planet.
Fox, Shenmue
And Star
3,
Fox.
like, 2003 looking games. That's in right now.
Ouch.
It's real hot. It's a good trend. Fallout 4, like, low poly count
If
is.
Shenmue
World of Warcraft,
looked like
killing
Shenmue
it.
1 on Dreamcast, I would be happy.
Me
No,
too.
it doesn't need to be, I don't
should.
think. Yeah.
I got a really funny quote from Iwata. The shareholder presentation was just translated this morning, so these are like Nintendo's official translations. In addressing the Wii U, I cannot disagree with your indication that the Wii U is experiencing the most unfavorable situation.
The most
Unfavorable?
not a unfavorable,
Finally.
the most.
God, do you remember when Reggie was just doing damage control like a year or two back? Just
Yeah.
like, oh, stick with it. It's all about software.
Yeah.
Software sells hardware. That was he said that 3 million times.
Yeah.
Where's the software, Reggie?
It's almost, you're right, it's
where
almost
is it?
refreshing. Yeah.
I think if you threaten to kill Gabe Newell, that is the most unfortunate situation. I think that's the worst. I don't think Or maybe if you actually
Unfavorable.
did kill Game Node, that'd probably be worse than that. But
Yeah.
I don't know about the
I love
if you
the
brought a
level
console
of-
to market, that's pretty favorable.
I love the level of corporate newspeak going on, and it's like so many double negatives. I
Yeah.
cannot deny
Yeah.
that we are having an unfavorable situation.
Yeah.
It's like wow.
And that
Give
might
this
be as
man
good
an
as it
award.
gets, but it's still nice to hear something about that
Yeah.
with the Wii U, as opposed to, no, you don't understand. We just need to show the value of the gamepad, which was last year. It's like, look at Project Giant Robot. This proves the value of the gamepad.
But you know what's the funniest thing is that if they had shown the value of the gamepad with a good game on the Wii U, the Wii U would have been fine.
Yeah.
But they just didn't give anyone what they wanted.
The hilarious thing is Miyamoto tried. He focused. He made 3 games. He made Star Fox, Project Guard, and Project Giant Robot, and 2 of those games were miserable and not fun. He tried and failed to show the gamepad could be fun.
I mean, the
That's
Pikmin
crazy to
3
me.
used the gamepad pretty well. The Kirby game used it well. It's just they're not like the mass market, blow your mind kind of thing.
Not enough
Right.
like Metroid or games that people actually want to play.
More
Not
importantly,
enough-
no Wii Sports. Like,
Yeah.
no game that's like, oh my gosh. And
Not
that's
enough-
what Wii Sports
Nintendo
was.
Land was supposed to be that, but
Yeah.
Not enough real-time strategy games.
Ew.
That'd be
Right.
awesome with the gamepad.
No, get out of here.
Because
Yeah, Pikmin 3 is
because
basically real-time strategy.
Because real-time
Yeah,
strategy
you're right.
games typically are not on consoles, and that is an untapped market. They're specifically, or they're usually associated with PC, mouse, and keyboard.
Yeah.
The gamepad, missed opportunity.
They didn't even do a Fire Emblem on Wii U.
Fire
But
Emblem would have worked so well.
the
Yeah.
problem too is that the Nintendo marketplace is so not even bifurcated, it's like quadricated. Like they've got largely a bunch of games that only appeal to kids and weird losers like Bossman, and then like games that would use the gamepad well, like an RTS. Like PC Master Race ain't gonna buy a Wii U for that, So
But the
it's
people
like
that don't have PCs,
the crowds, yeah, but the crowds don't mesh because like I buy a Wii U for the RTS and then play no other games on my Wii U ever. Like they need, I don't know, they just need more games. I don't know what it is.
do you guys think it's over? I mean, we have Zelda.
It's been over.
Obviously, Zelda, ridiculous. It's gonna be great.
That's
But
going to be
on
a
the
pro launch.
NX.
Is that enough? Is this? Are you at a point where you're saying, okay, Zelda is it. Zelda is it. My Wii U is done. I'm moving on. Are you ready to move on, Kyle Bossman?
You know what's super funny is I think even on the show on Final Bossman, like a year ago or even 2 years ago, I said Nintendo just count Wii U for a loss and move on.
Yeah.
Watching them do it is sad.
It is sad.
It's really sad to see them
Nintendo.
pack up shop and move on
Yeah.
because I love the Wii U.
But you don't think they're not putting Zelda out on the Wii U, right? That
They'll-
would be
They'll
stupid.
do the Twilight Princess thing. I
Yeah,
think,
okay, yeah.
at-
I was
at
gonna
best.
say,
So
like,
explain
What
the
is
Twilight
NX?
Princess thing. Explain
How can
that.
we even make these theories? What is the NX? Is
Right,
the
but
NX
the
gonna
Wii
be
U is
some?
It's a
dead.
console. Don't worry, it's not a handheld thing. It's a
Is
console.
it going to be some crazy, we're going to rival Sony and Microsoft HD maniac system? Or is it going to be another, like, here's a slightly stronger Wii U? Or here's a slightly stronger Wii U with no gamepad?
It'll be
What?
it'll be a slightly stronger Wii U that you use your phone or a 3DS as a controller.
or a new handheld,
A
a new device.
It's not a handheld. I swear. I promise you, it's a console.
But when I say a new handheld, like a new gamepad, and that my prediction is that you can take that gamepad with you.
I think that'd be insane.
That
They'll just
gamepad
tie
is
your
literally the
3DS
system.
in.
compromised.
For them to be so open about why the Wii U failed and they're putting it on the gamepad, for them to be like, oh, the NX has a gamepad that you can take anywhere. It's like, no, they're probably not thinking about the. It's actually really funny. Also in this interview, Miyamoto says he's not going to be involved with the hardware decisions, which I think is so good. Because you know how I feel about
for
his
for
decisions.
Nintendo owners or for Miyamoto.
For Nintendo, the company, it's a good idea for this person not to be
Fresh
involved.
eyes. Get some fresh eyes in there.
Yeah. Exactly. Fresh eyes, savvy eyes, people who are thinking about business first and foremost.
Hungry eyes.
Get some hungry eyes. Get some people who aren't about just like, oh, this would be a cute game. We'll make squishy shoulder pads so I can make a good Mario game where you have a squirt gun in it.
They're just in a really tough spot. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. If this NX comes out within 1 or 2 years, it can go two ways. You either make it stronger or as strong as a PS4 or Xbox One, or it's going to be like another Wii U with a gimmick controller. Like what?
It won't
what
be that.
can they do then?
I think Nintendo will learn. I don't think they won't do a gimmick controller.
So do you go all in on the power side, because they're always saying they're against that?
Here's my theory. I think they'll try to match Xbox One, and I think it'll be cheaper than Xbox One. I think that's what they'll try to do.
I think their main problem, I mean, really for the last 3 generations, is that they have been so different that it's been difficult to get third parties on board, because it's so hard to do those multi-platform games, when you have to redesign around a weird controller. So I think that they're probably going to take that into account. I mean, they already have the Pro Controller for the Wii U, so I think that'll be there. But I think there's definitely going to be still some kind of weirdness with this whole NX thing. And I think that dumb fake video is like, some of the stuff that was in there, like, it was believable because it was sort of echoing things that Nintendo has said.
What is that dumb fake video?
The Nintendo Cross thing, where you can basically, like, play games across multiple devices.
Yeah, we had people tweeting like a faked like release of what the NX will be, and it was called Nintendo Cross.
But I mean, like, that makes, like, the cross compatibility thing makes more sense than anything. Because, like, if they just do an Xbox One with a regular controller, they're screwed. Because, like, third party's not going to Nintendo. There's no reason to. And, like, they've never done that, so they should stop chasing that white dragon,
Well, I mean, they had third party all the way through, like, the second half of the GameCube, basically.
Yep. Right, but then
best
they
in the biz,
stopped.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
With the Wii, it went away. So, I don't know. They could get it back, but why bother? I don't know. It's weird.
They can't do it
always
on
going to
their
be
own.
third fiddle.
They need third-party support making exclusive games for their system. That is what they need. And I don't think they understand that.
They do. That's why they made Bayonetta 2 happen. They absolutely do. I think it can happen.
Yeah, I
With
mean,
the right-
Ubisoft was very much there at launch. And, even they, eventually had to just say, hey, the sales aren't good enough.
The
You
thing-
can't justify it.
The thing with that, though, is that you're getting like weird watered down versions of, Watch Dogs or Batman.
Yeah.
I want something that can only be played on that Wii U, because like Ian said, stop chasing that white dragon. You're not gonna catch up to those guys.
That's why they have to. I mean, the thing that has to happen is they have to do something that is so weird and crazy that we couldn't guess it. But then when it comes out, we're like, that's actually kind of a good idea. And then there are games that work with that make it special, because they're not ever going to win against Sony or Microsoft. They need to stop trying. They need to be them and do their thing, or stop.
I mean, they've heard that before, and the Wii did better than the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It did it. Nintendo was doing better at a time.
For a time.
Yeah.
And then it stopped.
Right.
Well,
But they've heard it before. You know what I mean? Like, Nintendo's been there before. They've been like, the inferior console. Actually, GameCube was super beefy, but where's the beefy? It's in the GameCube. But it did well. You know what I mean? The Wii did well. Nintendo showed, hey, we still have something.
I think what happened with the Wii, like that second half, by that point, that's when the HD kind of caught up to them. Like,
Yeah.
if the Wii had been
Mhm.
HD and been on par, like they could have continued that success through that whole
Yeah,
cycle.
the Wii was outdated.
They need to stop
quick.
releasing
Yeah.
off cycle too, because then they're like almost immediately
Well,
outdated.
I think to Blood's point, if they did release off cycle, if they did a Wii HD way sooner, they would have been fine. They were doing better anyway. We should stop talking about Nintendo. We talked about them too long. This is a Nintendo podcast. Brandon's getting bored. Let's move on to, well, you're the one who started this conversation. Oh, excuse me. Got some long butter. So we got an interesting comment from Shuriken21. Shuriken. The Arkham Knight opening could have been interesting had they not ruined it by screening it the week before at E3. As were the initial 30 minutes of the game already released, do you guys feel as strongly as I do about ensuring the opening of game is kept from any form of marketing in order to experience it fresh?
Yes. Yes. So mad. Walk into that diner in the beginning of Arkham Knight.
Yeah. Would have been huge.
Totally like blown away first person. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I already saw this. I remember being in that moment thinking in my head, oh, I'm supposed to go talk to the scarecrow guy in that back corner. I might as well not even look around or explore or get immersed or feel good in this area.
Yeah, so to explain, in the Sony press conference at E3, the opening of the Batman Arkham Knight game was shown, and we talked about how much we like the
In
openings.
case Sony didn't spoil
of
it for
Arkham
you
games.
already, we are going to.
Yeah, but I mean, like that was the opening of the game.
Right.
The final sentence of this comment, which I think is really interesting. I feel this can be equally as impactful as the ending in cementing a final impression. I think it could be
Almost.
more impactful. I'd say
Depends-
more impactful.
It totally depends on the game, though. I mean, like, their Ark Survival Evolved. I don't care. You know, you wake up on a beach. You know, it just depends if it's like a very specific story-driven
Spoiler.
thing.
Sure.
Whereas like
God
a
of
Call
War,
of,
God of
like,
War 3, that's all people remember is the beginning of that
Dude,
game.
Last of Us?
Last
I
of Us.
fucking
yeah.
worship the first 20 minutes of Last of Us.
Yeah.
My God, if the rest of that game was that cool,
Right.
fuck.
Imagine if that was put in Sony's press conference, the first 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
You know?
Well, it's interesting because when I reviewed Arkham City, it actually specifically said when I got the sheet, it was like, don't show the first
That's
20
fun.
minutes.
Okay, so that is what is so crazy to me is that Rocksteady and Arkham Knight, they try to keep all this stuff under wraps. They hate spoilers. They warn you of spoilers in certain things. They really care about you getting to play it without knowing what's going to happen, and then this happens.
and they kept some pretty big secrets.
Yeah.
that show up in
They're
that game.
all about that,
Yeah.
which is why this is so confusing.
They care
that this
about
happened.
being the ones to tell you. They don't care if you play it personally.
I think, honestly, my theory about how this happened is they were simply out of stuff to show. I think Sony said, hey, we'd be interested in having you in our press conference because we have exclusive DLC.
Week before you launch.
Yeah, and so Sony wanted to push that exclusive DLC. It's like, what do you have?
They should have shown that exclusive DLC because it's good stuff. It's not the greatest. It's fun.
What is it again?
So the Scarecrow Nightmare Challenge Pack, there's 3 of them, and you are in the Batmobile in a Scarecrow Nightmare. Aesthetically, it looks amazing. You could have shown that. People would have been like, oh, that looks cool. And you're hyping up the Batmobile, and you're hyping up Scarecrow. It's not giving anything away story-wise.
It's kind of like the Arkham Asylum Scarecrow stuff, actually, because he's a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that kind of
They
thing.
showed it a little bit in trailers. Yeah. The advertising across the board for Arkham Knight was the worst in the series, without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's like one. The first Arkham Knight trailer was decent, and then like the rest of it was just did not seem like Rocksteady was involved at all. It just seemed like it just seemed like some ad agency were like, Batman, huh? Okay. Who likes Batman? Let's get some Batman ideas. And it's like, how about you play the first 3 games and then you come up? It just seemed like they had no idea what had happened in the franchise and just didn't set it up well.
Yeah.
Like case in point, the beginning of that game is very important. It definitely sets the tone. Kind of clues you into like this game's gonna throw some weird gameplay things at you. Like there's some third-person shooting segments later in the game. There's some weird stuff that happens in this game, and it just kind of sets that. To give you a little tease of it at the beginning. To spoil that's a bummer.
Do you think that this game was impacted at all by its advertising? Like, to me, these games are already like the people who are gonna play them are gonna play them, and the people who aren't. I don't know.
I think
to me, like you can advertise it just to be there, but I don't even know if you need to.
I think Batman very soon is going to announce record sales.
Yeah.
I think it
Oh my
sold
God,
really
yeah.
well.
Insane.
And I think it's because all these dumb commercials that Brandon hates. They've had very bad commercials. They've had that stupid one with like YouTube celebrities like shouting at it. And I think it's going to blow up.
Then
I know you don't.
I didn't know about that YouTube one. Then yeah, they're going for a different audience. They don't need to advertise to you.
Right.
I know
They
you
don't need to
like-
watch the old games.
I know you don't like all the advertising, but I have to give credit to the tone of the advertisements. I think the tone has been what has sold this game. I mean, every time you see it, Gotham in flames, Scarecrow, get this horror vibe in there. I think they've sold the tone of the game, and I think
You
that's
haven't
helped.
seen many of them then.
The live action one, yeah.
So to Shuriken, yeah, we absolutely agree with you that it sucks when the beginning of a game is exposed.
It's a case by case basis though. There's some games that I don't think it's that big of a deal because some games don't really care. They're just like I want to get you into this, rather than making that opening.
Uncharted 3, when you're young Drake, sick. You know what I mean? They never showed any of that.
Right.
So it is that type of game. I think when your story matters in your game, absolutely don't show that.
Grand Theft Auto 5 got a specific notice from Rockstar. Don't talk about the opening. Don't show it. Don't stream it. Nothing.
Uncharted literally just does Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade
Yep.
in the third game.
Yep.
Is that
That's hilarious.
everybody's
Everybody's
Kind
lost
of.
but me.
Kind of.
It's weird though
You
when
lost,
you
kid.
see that stuff
doesn't mean
and
you
then
have to
they
like
don't
it.
want you to talk about. Like with The Witcher 3 is like we all played the beginning. That was a great way to open that game, but then it's like, are you gonna give us that to show people? So it's confusing. It's like how much do you want us to show it or not?
Yeah, it's weird. It's different teams. It's totally different teams.
Well, no, those
Yeah.
guys, it's all one. They're all
Well,
all
and
from the developer.
it is really weird though too, because like with Batman, what's the point of doing a weird intro like that subverts what your expectation is if you're gonna show it?
Oh,
like
when they designed that,
like
they had absolutely
yeah.
no intent for that to
Right.
be at the Sony press
and
conference.
like Phantom Pain, I'm not gonna say anything, but like that series, Metal Gear, is famous for subverting your expectations. If you put that in an ad,
Yeah.
people would be livid.
Oh yeah.
I'm just really, really mad. I hate any form of spoiler at all, because when you know something is coming, you're anticipating it, your whole perception of it has changed. Spoilers are toxic, and it is sickening that spoilers are now part of news. When I go to a website looking for news, I like to know the news of the day, and I'm blasted with a spoiler in the face. It sickens me.
You can say it, Kotaku.
Every video game website, every website out there just blasts you front page, no warning whatsoever. When I'm there minding my own business, just looking for the news of the day, looking for game announcements, looking for what Yu Suzuki has said about Shenmue, whatever it may be, and they're right there. There needs to be separate pages for spoilers and game sensitive material, because people have stopped caring. Makes me upset.
You want to know how Phantom Pain starts?
No, I do not.
If you've noted how worked up Huber has been, Shuriken, you're the one who started this conversation. Let's go on to bets. Time for bets. Rocket League comes out next week on PS4. It's the free PlayStation Plus game. Here's what we're going to do. Before the show starts, we're going to initiate a match online. We're going to try to first search for a match. From that moment to when it's 3, 2, 1, go, when we're finally accelerating our car, how many seconds will take place? I think that, I have to actually check to see
I
who's
think it might be
first to
Brandon.
reveal. It is going to be Brandon. Brandon, you're first to reveal.
My lucky number, 13 seconds.
Whoa, dude.
That's
Yeah.
quick.
I'm going on the low end.
Whoa.
I'm going to say you already lost
Yeah, me
with
too.
13
Sorry,
seconds.
Jones.
There's no way. The correct answer is 46 seconds. Michael Huber.
37 seconds?
Say that into the microphone, man.
37 seconds right there?
You could look at that
Sorry.
camera too.
I was confused.
No. It's 46.
37.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna go lower. I'm gonna do 8.
Whoa, Bloodworth.
What? Who are you people?
You lost,
Whoa.
man. I'm so happy I get a point next week. That feels good. Let me lock in those bets.
There's so many factors about this game that I don't know how it's gonna
Right.
like. You could just get loaded straight into a match that's already happening. Who knows?
Okay, I doubt that's going to happen. But okay, the fun bets anyway. Good range on that one. Let's talk about last week's bet where we did not have a good range. J-Star's victory versus Plus, which we actually covered pretty heavily on GameTrailers this week. Good summer week of just that's a perfect time to release that game. So I went to GameRankings.com and looked at the 7 most recent reviews for the PlayStation 4 version. There were actually only 4 total for this game.
80-hour game.
Yeah.
To be on that note, we got the game the day of release, and it had an embargo on the sheet like 9 a.m. that morning.
The past. Yeah. We shouldn't talk about stuff like that, should we? That's
Why not?
Okay.
Embargo's over.
What I did is I looked at those 4 reviews. I counted the instances of the word Goku and instances of the word Naruto. And what we had to bet was on which name would be used the most and by how many. Huber, do you have a guess, by the way, of who would win and by how many?
I'm going to say it's Goku by 3.
See, Huber, I designed this bet for that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
I designed this bet because I thought most people thought Goku was more popular.
Yeah.
Here's how it went down, actually. Blood bet Naruto by 3. Jones bet Naruto by 2. I bet Naruto by 2. And Ben bet Naruto by 2. We all had that same bet there.
It's Goku.
No, it's not.
Wow. Shocked.
Naruto by 8.
Whoa.
No, don't raise your arms. That's blood.
Oh,
Blood
you know what
wins.
it is?
3? Did I say 3? Oh, I said 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
damn
want?
it.
Do you want to know why it is? It's because Naruto has
That game mode.
He has an entire.
I know. I'm so mad
single-player
about it.
game mode devoted to
Yes.
him, whereas Goku is more of a supporting character.
I'm so mad I didn't look that up. It does, and I was
why.
looking through the reviews, and that's
Yeah.
why. Oh my god, it made me so mad. Because the thing is, Naruto is the name of his show and is the name of the character.
Mm-hmm.
But I was willing to bet most reviewers think Goku is a bigger draw and would talk more about Goku.
Yeah.
Not the case. Everyone's huge on Naruto, huger than any of us thought. However, Blood is the closest, so he wins a point.
There it is, Bloodworth again.
Bloodworth again. So the
Till this week.
the score is now Super Seat 9, Bloodworth 10, Jones 3, Bossman 5. Bloodworth, as winner of the bet, you may close out the show, but first, promote any video you want to on our website.
Well, I'll go ahead and promote that one. It'll stay relevant.
Which one?
Whatever you end up titling it,
What's the deal with J-Star's Victory versus Plus?
We all got on the couch for that one. We had fun for 30 minutes, and then people continued to play it for an hour and did not have as much fun.
Can I tell you something about this particular video? We're having a blast on the couch playing this game, J-Star's Victory versus Plus, and then watching everyone get miserable about it later. I kind of want to edit it so that we don't look like we're having such a good time at the end, because I don't want to falsely advertise this game as being too fun. Isn't that weird? Like this, weird moral responsibility I have to not make the game look too fun.
But I don't think you're lying when you say the first 20 minutes of that game are fun.
It's amazing.
Sure, okay. So
then
maybe
that's it, you know?
we'll just print it like that, I guess.
And
It's not-
especially don't cut the point out where I say after an hour of this game, you're probably going to really get sick of it.
Did you say that?
Oh, yeah, I said that several times.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Keep that in. You get a chance.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, Kyle. Come
Not
on. We're almost done. Come on.
That lung butter. And then Bloodworth, yeah, of course, sign us off with your catchphrase.
Sure. We've got Ian Hink over there. He'll put up his Twitter handle and
Nope.
tell to us.
Nope.
No, he won't.
We're not doing that.
No Twitter handle.
Okay. Well, it's at Ian Hink. Michael Hubert. Give your Twitter handle. Out loud.
Don't spoil games.
Wow.
No, okay.
That's not your
That's his
Twitter handle.
Twitter handle.
Yes.
Bloodworth, in this awkward way that you asked Hubert to give Hubert did a sign off.
Sorry.
No, I mean, you did it, dude. Like, you bogarted it. You bogarted Bloodworth's sign off.
The sign off
It's
is
the individual
continuing down the
sign-off.
line.
So now we all get one because of Bloodworth's miscommunication?
I guess.
Okay.
No, it's going to go around. I thought it was going to go him, me, you, back to Blood.
All Bloodworth wanted
Yeah.
was your Twitter handle, man. Then you just shot out a sign off.
It's very confusing when you're in the super seat, all right? I'm not a regular.
What's your Twitter
I'm
handle?
coming in off the bench.
What
It's
are you?
at Michael P. Huber.
Okay.
Okay. I'm at DBloodworth2. Brandon.
GameTrailers VO.
Tomorrow is forever all ours.
Kyle Bosman.
That was willingly. That was spiteful.
Good night and good game. That's mine.
And we'll see you before the next Blood Moon rises.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
I love.